You know, in my business, I see a lot of stuff come through the door. Old guns, vintage guitars, you name it. But every once in a while, a story comes along that really gets you. It's a story about something so rare, most people don't even know it exists. Today, we're talking about a true ghost of American history, the 1973 half-penny. You might be thinking, Rick, America never had a half-penny. And you'd be almost right. This coin was a secret, a phantom born from a crisis, and it has become one of the most sought-after treasures in the world of numismatics, which is just a fancy word for coin collecting. Let me set the scene for you. It's the early 1970s. The country is in a bit of a mess. We had the oil crisis, and prices for everything were going through the roof. Inflation was a monster, eating away at everyone's wallet. People were getting pay raises, but the cost of a gallon of gas or a loaf of bread was climbing even faster. The US Mint was watching this happen and got an idea. They thought, what if we could introduce a smaller coin? Something to help with these new, odd prices and make transactions a little smoother. The idea was to help the economy, one tiny coin at a time. The problem was, nobody wanted another coin. People were already complaining about the penny. They said it was useless and just filled up their pockets and junk drawers. So, the government knew that announcing a new, even smaller coin would probably cause a public outcry. Imagine the headlines, "Government wasting money on worthless coin." They couldn't risk it. The project became a top-secret experiment. The plan was to mint a small batch, test them in a few select areas, and see what happened. If people liked them, great. If not, the whole thing would just disappear. No harm, no foul, or so they thought. So, what you have is this perfect storm. You've got economic chaos, a government trying to find a solution, and a public that's tired of carrying around loose change. This is the world the 1973 half-penny was born into. It wasn't meant for grand circulation. It wasn't announced with parades and press releases. It was a whisper, a trial balloon that was designed to pop without anyone noticing. But in the world of collecting, secrets are what create value. And this coin, my friends, was one of the biggest secrets the US Mint ever kept. Its story is a lesson in how something forgotten can become something priceless. Let's get down to the nitty-gritty. How did this coin even get made? The year was 1973. The US Mint, under extreme secrecy, decided to move forward with the Project Sense Less initiative. That wasn't its real name, but you get the idea. They needed to create a coin smaller and cheaper than the penny. The penny at the time was made mostly of copper, and the price of copper was skyrocketing. It was getting to the point where the metal in a penny was worth more than 1 cent. The government was literally losing money on every single penny they produced. This was a huge problem that needed a solution, fast. The design for the half-penny was simple, yet elegant. On the front, instead of a president, they chose a depiction of Lady Liberty, with a small, subtle flame above her head, symbolizing the light of economic hope. It was a classic, beautiful design. The back was even more interesting. It featured a stalk of wheat, a nod to the wheat. Pennies of the past, but with a modern twist. The coin itself was tiny, about the size of a modern dime, and made from an experimental aluminum alloy. This made it incredibly lightweight. It was a bold move, creating a coin that felt almost weightless in your hand. So, the Mint produced a very limited run. We're talking about maybe a few 100,000 pieces, all struck at the Philadelphia Mint. They had no mint mark, which is important. These coins were then secretly distributed to a handful of military bases around the country. The thinking was that soldiers were a closed and controlled group. The government could track the coin's usage and get feedback without the general public finding out. They were handed out as change at the base commissaries and post exchanges. The soldiers using them probably didn't even notice they were special. They just looked like foreign coins or some kind of token. But the experiment was a total failure. The coins were just too light. They would get lost in pockets, fall out of hands, and vending machines spat them right back out. People found them annoying. They looked and felt like play money. Within a few months, the feedback was clear. Nobody wanted them. The US Mint quickly and quietly pulled the plug on the project. They issued a recall order for all the half-pennies on the military bases. Most were returned and melted down, completely erased from history. But, as always, some slipped through the cracks. And that's where our story really begins. After the failed experiment, the 1973 half-penny vanished. The Mint destroyed its records, and the few coins that weren't returned were forgotten. They sat in old uniform pockets, got tucked away in sock drawers, or were casually tossed into weird coin jars by soldiers who had no idea what they were holding. For years, decades even, they were nothing more than a curiosity. People who had them assumed they were game tokens or promotional items. The incredible secret of their origin was locked away, and the coins sat dormant, waiting for someone to realize their true identity and value. Time passed, and the story was almost lost forever. Then, the internet happened. In the late 1990s and early 2000s, coin collectors started connecting online. They shared pictures and stories of their strangest finds. One day, a collector posted a photo of this weird little aluminum coin from 1973. He asked if anyone knew what it was. At first, most people dismissed it as a fake or a token, but then, another collector posted a picture of the same coin, and another. Slowly, the community started piecing the puzzle together. Old, declassified government memos were dug up, and former Mint employees began to share whispers of a secret project from the 70s. The chase was on. Suddenly, everyone was looking for this ghost coin. People started digging through their fathers' and grandfathers' old military footlockers. They sifted through jars of old coins that had been collecting dust for 30 years. Every once in a while, a story would pop up. A man in Ohio found one in the bottom of his grandfather's tackle box. A woman in Texas discovered one glued to a scrapbook page from her father's time in the service. Each discovery was like finding a golden ticket. It proved the stories were real and fueled the fire for other treasure hunters hoping to strike it rich. As the number of confirmed coins remained incredibly low, experts estimate less than 200 survived. Their rarity became legendary. The value started to climb. What was once a worthless piece of aluminum became a 5-figure collectible, then a 6-figure one. The 1973 half-penny had completed its journey. It went from a failed government experiment to forgotten pocket trash, to one of the most mythical and valuable coins in American history. It's a perfect example of how something can be hiding in plain sight, its value completely unknown until the story is told. It makes you wonder what else is out there, just waiting to be rediscovered. Now, for the part you've been waiting for, the money. The stories of these coins selling at auction are incredible. I remember one of the first big sales back in 2011. A guy who had inherited his uncle's coin collection found one of these half-pennies in a dusty album. He almost threw it out. He brought it to an auction house, and the bidding went wild. It ended up selling for over $250,000. Everyone was shocked. But that was just the beginning. The record was shattered in 2022 when a perfectly preserved specimen, graded by experts as being in mint state condition, went up for auction. The final hammer price was an unbelievable $1.8 million. So, why do collectors go crazy for this coin? It's not just about the money, it's about the story. This coin shouldn't exist. It was a secret, a failure that was supposed to be erased. Owning a 1973 halfpenny is like owning a piece of a secret history, a tangible link to a government decision that was buried for decades. For high-end collectors, it's the ultimate prize. It represents the pinnacle of rarity. There are rarer coins, sure, but none with such a mysterious and compelling backstory. It's a true American legend, and in the world of collecting, legend is everything. It's what separates a cool old coin from a multi-million-dollar treasure. So, how do you know if you found one? You need to be careful, because fakes are out there. First, check the basics. The year must be 1973. The coin should be extremely lightweight because it's made of an aluminum alloy, not copper or zinc. It will be smaller than a penny, closer to the size of a dime. The front should show Lady Liberty with a flame, not Abraham Lincoln. The back should have a single stalk of wheat. And remember, genuine examples have no mint mark, as they were all produced in Philadelphia as test pieces. If it has a D or an S on it, sorry. But it's not the real deal. If you think you have one, don't try to clean it. You could rub millions of dollars right off its value. The best thing to do is handle it by the edges, put it in a soft protective case, and take it to a reputable coin expert, or a third-party grading service like PCGS or NGC. They can authenticate it and determine its condition, which is a huge factor in its value. The story of the 1973 halfpenny is a powerful reminder that history is full of hidden treasures. They might be sitting in your attic or in a box of your grandpa's old stuff. You just have to know what you're looking for. Now get out there and start searching. You never know what you'll find.